and they gave him a lot of money. Bro, this dude has gotten like 3 max contracts. You know his wife and his family, they all happy. That boy making some of that serious paper. But I don't know if that's gonna be enough. NFL Week 1, very brief scores. Maybe go over some stats, talk about the highs and lows, and then move on to the next topic. The Ravens versus the Chiefs. Will they three-peat? That's the question in which everybody has been asking themselves, friends, family, foe, and everything else. So in this one, you had a nail biter. Could have went either way. Was a great game. Went down to the wire. Lamar came up a little empty-handed. So you had the Chiefs 27, you had the Ravens 20. Patrick Mahomes at 291 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw a pick. Lamar Jackson was the leading rusher in this game. He had 16 carries on 122 yards. I mean, that's just phenomenal for a quarterback to do that kind of damage. And then, Likely, who, you know what I'm saying, is most likely to score when you throw it up to him. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal. He had 9 receptions, 111 yards, and definitely had a tub. But yeah, he had a trip to the promised land. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Patrick Mahomes, once again, he finds a way to win. He finds a way to win. And he found a way to win. In the nail-biting third, fourth quarter, he finds a way to win. So big ups to P. Mahomes and also Andy Reid for doing what they do, right? Doing what they do. And so, anyway, moving on to the next. We have the Eagles versus the Packers. Yeah, Jordan, I need me some love. Yeah, he got his money. So, the Eagles 34, right? The Packers 29. Hurts himself, 2-2. He had 2 tubs, but he also had 2 interceptions. He threw for 278 yards, though. He was the leading passer of the day. He had Shaquan, 24 carries. Yeah, he was the power workhorse, as we know he would be. He was that way at Penn State. 24 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Jay Reed, Green Bay has got themselves a nice wideout. He had 4 receptions for 138 yards and a touchdown. So this game really, man, was dealt in the trenches. It was dealt in the trenches. Shaquan was brought in to do something, and he did it. Point out blank. This is going to make them 3-dimensional, right? They already had good special teams. They already had a solid defense. Now this is going to give them a solid run offense. Man, if Hurts can, 1, stay healthy, 2, play well. Shaquan's going to do his thing, but once again, if he can stay healthy, we're good. So moving right along. We had the Steelers versus the Falcons. And Mr. Tomlin, I like to call him Tomlin's son for whatever reason, but it's Tomlin. But Mike Tomlin, he did what he does, right? No one said that the guy isn't a great coach. He just hasn't been back to, the glory land since, him and Roethlisberger did their thing back when they had AB, and, guy's just an absolute monster. Harrison, there you go, Harrison. When he picked, swooped, and scooped, and did his thing. But Steelers 18, Falcons 10, Justin Fields. We talked about Justin. He had 156 yards. Look, no touchdowns, but guess what? No mistakes, no INT, so that's great. Then you had Najee, that man, you know him. He's big, but he can move too. He got footwork. 20 carries, 70 yards, and you had Pickens, from Pittsburgh, 6 receptions for 85 yards. So this overall, the Falcons, Raheem might be in for a treat. I kind of feel like Kirk Cousins is a damn good quarterback. Damn good, but is he going to get him to the promised land? I don't think so. And they gave him a lot of money. This dude has gotten like 3 max contracts. His wife and his family, they all happy. That boy making some of that serious paper. But, I don't know if that's going to be enough. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Blank and company, I wish you guys the best, but not sure you're going to do it this year, buddy. So that was a close one, but not close enough. Then we had another just, oh boy. Arizona Cardinals, yes, versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills 34, Arizona Cardinals 28. Mr. Allen himself, man, no mistakes, 232 yards, and he also had 2 tubs. Can't beat it. Cook, running back, Buffalo, 19 carries, 71 yards, outstanding. And you had Coleman, leading wide receiver for Buffalo. He had 4 receptions for 51 yards. I mean, Buffalo's doing what they do, right? They're always in contention to win their division. Buffalo's doing what they normally do. They're like Kansas City. They always gonna show up. That program over there is stout, that program that they have. Look at the coach, man. The coach's got like 3% body fat. Look at the coach over there, man. He's a beast. Anyway, next. We got the Titans versus the Bears. The Bears 24, the Titans 17. Yes. Levis, Tennessee. He had 2 INTs, 1 touchdown, 127 yards, but still led the day. Then you had Tony Pollard. Yeah, that's the ex-Dallas Cowboys elusive back. He had 16 carries for 82 yards and 1 touchdown. Then you had Ridley. He's the wide receiver from Tennessee. He had 3 receptions for the big 5-0, 50, the midlife crisis. He sure did. So the Bears, look, the new era Bears without Justin Fields, hey, they came to play and they won that game 24-17. On to the next. Let's go to the next one. Hey, this was a big shock. A big shock. Shock of the week, probably. You had the Patriots, the New England Patriots, post-Belichick Brady era versus the Cincinnati Bengals. 16 for the Patriots, 10 for the Bengals. Yes, Burrow, 164 yards, no touchdowns, but no mistakes either. Then you had Stevenson. He's the running back for New England. He had 25 carries and 120 yards. Man, you know what? That's old-fashioned football right there. In between the sheets. Then you had Chase, man. Still hasn't gotten his deal. Still waiting. 6 receptions, 62 yards. As you guys all know, my man, we haven't talked about it yet, but my man, Ayuk, he got his deal, and I think it's justified and it's fit for what he is for that team. And to continue to win with the group of guys that you have, that deal was a great deal. And I think he's happy about it. And you see, he even came out and said, I was making this a little bit more difficult and yada, yada, yada. But hey, look, both sides are happy. I'm happy. Now let's ball out. So we're going to move right on to the next, man. But big ups to the Patriots. Big ups to the Patriots, man. You had the Texans versus the Colts, which this is always a rivalry game, isn't it? These two teams, it's not like set in stone, but it feels like whenever they play against one another, it's a hell of a ball game, and it typically goes down to the wire. So you had the Texans 29 versus the Colts 27. Now, you know that they both scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Yes, they both scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. Heck of a game. And that's after the Texans only got a field goal in the third, and the Colts got 2 field goals in the third. So, I mean... But once again, who is the new up-and-coming baller? CJ Stroud. No mistakes, 234 yards and 2 touchdowns for that young man. Then you had Mixon, running back, Houston. He was balling back when he was with Cincinnati. 30 carries, 159 yards. Ooh, he had an ice bath after that. And a touchdown. Then you had Pierce from the Colts. He had 3 receptions for 125 yards. You seen that long one he had. Yeah, that was sweet. So, look, be very afraid of the Texans. We're going to move right on to the next one. We had the Jaguars versus the Dolphins. Very unfortunate pre-game situation. Yes. We're tired. This is a freak. Very unfortunate. But once again, I'd like to remind everybody that being black in America is being black in America. And you can get humbled real quick. And I'm not saying that it's fair. It ain't fair. Never has been, probably never will be. But no one can say, none of those officers can say that they didn't know who he was. And even if they didn't know who he was, they found out who he was very quick. I mean, young black male in a, house on wheels. Come on, man. They're thinking one of 2 things. Either he's a dope dealer or he's a pro athlete. So, let's just be honest. I think it was very unjust the way they did him. Look, if he was recklessly driving, okay, even if they were going to impound the car, They could have done so without even arresting him, putting him in cuffs. None of that. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. You can get a exhibition of speed ticket or whatever, reckless driving ticket, whatever, and walk away from it and never be thrown on the ground or told to sit down or any of that stuff. So very unfortunate situation, but you know what? They used that negativity as positivity and they won the game. 20-17 was a great game. The whole game was back and forth. Tua, 338 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions for the lefty southpaw. Then you had running the ball, you had Bigsby, he had 12 carries for 73 yards. Then Tyreek, man, 7 catches for 130 and a touchdown. And you see what he did with the I'm locked up, they won't let me out. Yeah, you see what he did in the end zone. You saw what he did. Heck of a game and heck of a play. Next was a downright bloodbath. The Saints versus the Panthers. Usually a good game. The Saints 47, the Panthers 10. I mean, Derek Carr, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. That is what we thought we would get out of him when he was in Oakland. Alvin Kamara, 15 carries, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. Then Shaheed, 3 receptions, 73 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, heck of a game for them, 47-10. I think Derek Carr is in his element. I think his family has gotten situated there in the Bayou, and you could see it in his game. Next, we've got the Vikings. They've got 28 versus the New York Giants. 6. 2 field goals. They had a field goal in the first, field goal in the third from New York. I mean, I just don't see them doing anything for a while. I just don't. They gave the quarterback all this money for what? For what? You had in this game, you had Darnold, believe it or not. Darnold had 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick, though. Then you had Jones, running back from Minnesota, 14 carries, 94 yards. 14 carries, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Then you had Neighbors. Yeah, he's the wide receiver for the Giants. Only real highlight of the game, but that was still only 5 receptions for 66 yards. No one over 100 for them on the day. Start out 0-1. I don't think they win more than 4 or 5 games this year. But I may be absolutely wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong because I don't like wishing bad on nobody. But it is what it is. Raiders versus the Chargers. Yes. The West Coast shootout. Raiders 10, Chargers 22. Hey. Chargers under Harbaugh. You already know he's a mastermind, so it'll be interesting to see if they, take heed to the way he articulates in his coaching style. So it'll be nice to see what happens with that. I think he feels like he's got the personnel that he needs to do something. So, Minshew, Las Vegas, 257 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. So that's going to negate. We do. Then you got Dobbins. He's a running back. Yeah, for the Chargers, he had 10 carries, 135 yards, and 1 touchdown. Heck of a run for him. Then you had Myers. He's the wide receiver for Vegas, 3 receptions, 61 yards. You know what other wide receiver is there and not very happy. We're not going to get into that, but I'm sure that will evolve into something later on in the season. You mark my words. On to the next. Broncos, Seahawks. Seahawks came out, guns a-blazing, 26-20. 26-20. Scored 17 points after the half. You had, Geno, don't count me out, Smith. 171 yards. He did have 1 touchdown and 1 INT. Then you had Walker the third. He's the running back for Seattle. He had 20 carries, 103 yards, and 1 touchdown. And you had Lockett. He's the wide receiver for Seattle. He had 6 receptions, 77 yards. Tyler's going to do his thing, right? So, hey, the Seahawks have been and will be in my division in the NFC with my boys, the 49ers. And they're always something that you might be concerned about. So, you could never count them out completely. So, then this here, kind of a shocker to me. And it's not because I'm a Cowboy hater. It's because Cleveland last year, their defense, and hell, even Cleveland Browns were like a sleeper. Their defense was ridiculous. It was just crazy. Their run game was good. Their defense was good. What wasn't good and was terrible in week 1 is the quarterback play from Deshaun Massage Watson, yeah. That man, hey, no disrespect, but it is what it is, man. He likes getting rubbed and whatnot. But Cowboys 33, Browns 17. Mr. Prescott, as you can see, he's now getting his money. Is he worth almost 300 mil? No hateration in my blood whatsoever, but I don't know if he's worth that. He ain't won nothing. But I ain't mad at him. Hey, you know what? If that's going to create generational wealth for you and your family and their kids and whatnot, that's awesome. I can't hate on that whatsoever. I just don't think that he's earned that yet. He might. The guy, once again, spot on during the regular season, terrible in the playoffs. So, it is what it is. Ford, running back, Cleveland, he had 12 carries, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. Not much, but still was the leader for the day. And then you had, when CeeDee Lamb was in the house, oh my God, 61 yards on 5 receptions. He's going to do that every time. He's Mr. Reliable. On to the next game. We had the Commanders. Yeah. Formerly the Redskins. No disrespect to anyone. Buccaneers 37, Commanders 20. And it wasn't even close because the Buccaneers scored in the second half more than what the Commanders scored in the whole game. You had Baker, no takers. Mayfield, he had 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, gee willikers. He just keeps proving people wrong. People been doubting him. So, then you had Daniels, who, he looked amazing for Washington. He had 16, he's the leading rusher of the game. 16 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground, okay? Then you had Godwin. Yeah, he's a former 49er. He had 8 receptions for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. Heck of a day for him. Then we had the game of the week, the Rams and the Lions. Now, I thought the Rams had the game. The Lions are a force to be reckoned with, man. Their cohesiveness, I think, is probably top 3 in the league because they were terrible. They had the same players. They added some people in free agency, but they had started building this coaching staff, and it just keeps getting better and better. So, man, clap up for them. But the Lions 26, the Rams 20. Stafford, 317 yards, 1 touchdown, but 1 INT. Montgomery, running back for Detroit. The guy is hella elusive, 90. 17 carries, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Williamson, he's the wide receiver for Detroit. He had 5 receptions, 121 yards, and I'm sure you guys seen the long tub for him. So, man, the only game that is left is the 49ers, Monday night, versus the Jets. And what it looks like is currently it's 13-7 because it is live right now. It is Monday night, if you guys were wondering. Broadcasting to you guys live here. Gmak Talks with G. And we'll be right back.
Oh.
All right, so we couldn't finish off without doing football trivia. So, I'll give you guys a clue on the first one. It has to do with college football. Which school is sometimes referred to as the Mecca? The Mecca of college football. Let me know when you know. All right. Then we're going to just go ahead and transcend into the NFL. Who was referred to as the Minister of Defense in the NFL? Minister of Defense. Submit your answers down low. Let us know. As soon as we can get enough people responding to answers, we're going to do a little gift cards, $20 gift card, Visa gift card. So we need participation. No participation, no gift card. Yeah, so, but anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. We want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on Gmak Talks. With who? Me. G. Deuces.